Stop doing this with your irons. It is costing you shots, it may well be costing you golf balls, and it is certainly stopping you getting good at golf. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Now I see this so often when people are having lessons with irons or people are working on their irons a little bit. People say, right, I want you to get nice and relaxed. So we get nice and relaxed and then the club's taken away a little bit like this. There's no real kind of tension in the lead arm. The trail arm doesn't really know what it's doing. If you're a right-handed golfer, your lead arm's your left arm, your trail arm's your right arm, vice versa if you are a left-handed golfer. So how can I battle this? Because the problem is, if the arms are too relaxed and the club just kind of gets picked up a little bit, then how can I physically get this club down to the ball? It's either going to come massively over the top, I'm going to have to reroute it and get stuck inside and throw the hands at it, and I'm going to have to manipulate this club head somehow, and that's not a very good way of getting a good consistent strike, getting a good consistent distance and getting the ball close to the flag. So if I make sure that first of all my lead arm, so the left arm for a right-handed golfer, is in the correct position, so I'm stood nice and tall, I've got a little bit of forward shaft lean here, and as I take my club away with my shoulders, you'll see how that lead arm stays connected to my body the entire time. It doesn't work away, it doesn't work inside, I don't over rotate my body, but it stays nice and connected. This leaves perfect chance for the trail arm, the right arm, to be nice and relaxed. This is what people mean when they say make sure your arms are nice and relaxed. We want this trail arm to sit nice and relaxed, so I should be able to just move it in an upward motion here, almost like a bicep curl. So in the backswing, if my right arm's doing the bicep curl and my lead arm is moving back, that would meet here and they both work nicely to get the club on plane at the top. So I'm doing my takeaway here, or my move away, as Mr. Leadbetter would say. I was lucky enough to have a lesson with David Leadbetter earlier on this year, and it has transformed my game. It's also kind of transformed my knowledge on what we're trying to do with the golf club. We're not trying to manipulate the golf club around either way. We're trying to make sure the golf club stays connected through that golf swing at all times, but especially on the move away, on the takeaway, on the initial point of that golf swing. Because if you get this correct, then you can load up to the backswing nicely and you should be able to deliver nice consistent impact every single time. So if we deliver nice consistent impact, that means we should be able to deliver nice consistent distances, and if we deliver nice consistent distances, we should be able to hit nice towering golf shots onto par 3 greens like this one, hopefully leave yourself a nice short putt, and that's going to help you massively get good at golf.
Great points there as always from James. So we need to think about the connection with both arms. So James mentioned there, a lot of people forget about this lead arm. They're too busy trying to go, well, I've got to get it in here, I've got to do this, and it all becomes very much hands and arms. It's very much picking up, we've got no rotation, but we want to keep this connected to the chest, because if our arms get a little bit loose, again, what we start to see is that this right arm wants to work off. We start to get into that awkward position at the top where I've got a big flying elbow, and then from here, like James mentioned, we're going to have to try and reroute and then do everything with our hands. We're not going to get much pressure on there, we're not going to get any consistency. So like James said there, a great drill for you to do is just to get your left hand on the club. This is really going to help you obviously see if your grip's correct as well, because what we should start to see is that in the move away, we should be able to get that club matching our spine. If our grip is very weak, it's going to be very hard to take that club away. We're going to see straight away that will open, and the same as if I get a little bit strong, that's going to start to face the ground. So it's a good point for you to check, one, if your grip's correct, and also, are you keeping this connected, or are you somebody who would normally try and pick that club up? That's going to put a lot of strain on your arm straight away. Once we've done that, like James mentioned, we can start to feel like this arm joins the club, and from here that's going to then take it up into the backswing. We then want to talk about on the way through. So one big thing we see when arms are loose is people start to get the chicken wing. So it starts to fly off here. We start to then get a club face that is wide open. If we then release that, we start to get fats, we start to get thins. But if you go from down the line, you'll start to see the first thing we see come through is this elbow. You can see there for the club head, it's very much hard to square it up. So a good drill for you to do after you've tested, okay, can you take that club away and get your right hand on and build your backswing, then we want to put it into some smaller shots. So maybe not on the golf course, but on the driving range, what we want to do is just do a shot where we go, take it to 9 o'clock, so get my arm parallel to the ground, and then on the way through, We want to feel like we get the opposite effect. So my right arm is straight, my left arm is bent, and we're in that 9 o'clock position, but you'll also see my arm is still connected to my chest. It hasn't drove off. So if we just do that, we can do it with a pitching wedge, we can do it with an 8-iron. We just want to do a nice little chip shot, 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Keep that connection, and you will see there, right arm is extended, and that, even without trying, has got straight onto the green. So a little chip shot there, it started in the right direction, it launched good. That's a good shot. And those couple of little drills there and those feelings can help you get good at golf.